Hello and welcome back to the Lux Bride podcast. Today we're going to be talking about some different fun experiences that you can have at your wedding day for your guests to experience at your event.
And so we've kind of sectioned them out into 3 different categories. I'm going to talk about the first one, drinks, because we think this is really fun. So for the very first one, if you want something that's like a little bit more interactive, we are going to be sharing a photo of this too on the blog so that way you have an idea about it. But at one of my weddings last year, I had a couple who actually bought growlers, and I think growlers is the only term for them. I don't remember what the smaller ones are called. Do you know that?
Pints, like a pint or just like a single bottle.
Yeah, just like the big bottles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, they bought them of like all of these different kinds of beer from different breweries that they've been to and they really loved. And people were able to take their favor, which was a glass jar, like it looked like a little mason jar with a handle on it. Again, you've got to see the blog for it because it's super adorable. And they could go around to different tables and try different beers. It's not exactly 100% COVID friendly. So they did have people who were more so going around with like their own trays and be like, which one would you like to try? But if you wanted to do this, I thought it was a great idea. And it's something that's different. I don't see that all of the time.
Yeah, like a beer tasting experience. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And especially because I'm a beer snob, I loved that one.
I could see wine happening too, but you have to be a wine snob for that one.
Yeah. Well, and you've got options, of course. But yeah, and then another one that we just simply love is a champagne. There are so many options with champagne. You could have a wall, you can have it into a tower, you can have a cart. There are so many options for that. So anything that you do with champagne is just super, super fun and highly recommended. For the next one, we really like the idea of having they're called either drink trucks or mobile bars, depending on what you're searching for. And so we have 2 different options. One is in Grand Rapids called Beviamo Mobile GR, or the other one is called Bubbles and Brew in Traverse City. And they are super cute. They honestly are like a little truck that comes to your wedding. They're filled with whatever beverage you need them to be filled with, and you can just have the drink there. And I think it's a really great thing for your guests to see, especially, and it adds something a lot different than just your typical bar.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you on that. Yeah. I actually I'm super excited because we get to work with Bubbles and Brews actually in Southwest Michigan, so they do travel on June 5th, so I'm really excited for that.
I am not jealous at all. It's fine. And then the last thing that we have is fun themed drinks. This is something that can make things a little bit more personal for you and your guests, because it's something that, you know, you can have whatever kind of drink you want. You can even name one of your signature drinks after like a pet of yours. I've seen plenty named after dogs and I love the names of them. But when it comes to drinks, there's so many things you can do, not just with the flavor, but with the look of the drink as well. And so we have 3 different people that we both follow on Instagram, and we'll be sharing their links in the blog because they give you recipes or inspiration about what you can possibly have, because the sky's the limit when it comes to drinks. I don't know if you agree with that, Elisa, but it feels like
I do. And there's so many different customizations and way we could go with it. Like we could literally do a whole one just on like cool different specialty drinks. Yeah. So that's where we thought that it would be really helpful for people to kind of just see what these other mixologists that are bartenders, like some of them will just share their ingredients, so they're not giving you like the exact ratios, but that's where like the magic comes from too, you know. Yeah. Just so you can kind of play and see what kind of different drink mixtures that you like as a couple. That would be a really fun date night, just to get some random ingredients, kind of see and sample what things that you like, or you might already know what you like. So like, say you always get an old fashioned, like, you know that you want that on your menu because you always drink that, for instance. But if you're not like more of a liquor drinker, but you do want a specialty drink that's liquor, like these mixologists are really talented.
Yeah, and it's something too where we've talked about, it might be a way in which you can have like liquor at your wedding that's not quite as expensive than just having like a full liquor bar where they can make any drink whatsoever. They're just focusing on 1 or 2 signature cocktails.
Yeah, it makes it way more affordable that way because they know what they're going to be serving, beer, wine, or just 1 of 2 mixed drinks.
Yeah.
Super easy. Absolutely agree.
You want to go into the food part next? All you.
Yeah, so that was everything for drinks. The next category is going to be food. And so we have like a little parameter of food. Like we have our sweets and we have like our savories. So I'm just going to kind of share them all with you. They're a little bit all over the place in that aspect. We're going to start with sweets, go to savory, and then back to sweets a little bit. So so the first one that we knew we had to put in here was a cotton candy machine. We love Hey Sugar, West Michigan. They do really fun activities and they love to do events, which I don't think enough people do. So you can either like pre-purchase cotton candy, or you can actually legit have a cotton candy machine there for a few hours at your event. And I think that there's nothing more fun and like whimsical than having that for like even grandma to feel like a little girl again, like at a fair or a circus. So I think that's really fun to have that live experience. But they also do glitter bombs that you could just add into your drink. And so that's pretty cool too. If you did the glitter bombs as like a specialty beverage, maybe it's just rosé with a bunch of glitter tossed in there.
Yeah. Gifted me glitter bombs for Christmas. And,
yes, I did.
I didn't have anything fancy to drink them in, like rosé or anything. So I actually put them in my Bailey's hot cocoa. It still is very sparkly, but I think the fun part about it is that it doesn't get all over the place. So when you think glitter, you can think like it gets all over. Nope, this is edible glitter. It just makes things beautiful.
Yeah, I know that Stephanie loves to go to Chicago and they have glitter coffee lattes there. So I thought of her and I was like, well, I'll get the glitter bombs and she can glitter beer, coffee, whatever her heart's desires. And it is a really fun experience. And it's like a glitter bomb. But yeah, it's super fine glitter. It's edible. So it's the same thing they put on cakes. Super simple in that sense. So next is going to be different fun themed appetizers. And we went anywhere with like little sliders on a stick skewer on them, maybe mini tacos. We've all seen all over Pinterest where it's like a taco sitting on top of like a little tiny alcoholic, like tequila shot almost. Charcuterie boards are really fun to experience too. A little bit of everything for everyone. It can kind of, usually there's tongs or just to be able to grab the fruit or vegetables or meat. Charcuterie board, I do want to say, is not just meat and cheese. It can be crackers, it can be fruits, it can be vegetables. Some people put desserts on there even, like whatever you can imagine can probably go on a charcuterie board.
Yeah.
Something new that I got to experience is like charcuterie cones. I don't know why nobody's ever done this before, but it's almost like a really thin like balsam wood that is like made into a cone. So it's a little bit more durable than paper, so it can handle like food grease and such. But it's so cool because you can fill the charcuterie cone with, again, any of those things listed. I had one that had like nuts on the bottom and then chocolates above that. And then it was like meat, cheese, crackers, and like a little vegetable and a piece of fruit. And it was so good. Little bit of everything. Little slice of everything that's good. And it was nice because it was really COVID friendly. Like they had a little skewer in the cone, so you could skewer pick every single thing that was there except for the nuts. But at that point it was at the bottom, you just kind of dump them in. And I love that it wasn't anything that you had to like eat with your hands or touch. So the COVID world, that was really nice and cleanly in that aspect. And also very filling, surprisingly. So it's the same thing as a charcuterie board. It's just putting it in a cone down. Mm-hmm. So that was our savories. We could really go down a rabbit hole with those too, but those are just a few ideas out of the many that you could go with it. Next, we're going to kind of switch back to the sweets. And we had thought about maybe something, if it was really hot out, say you have a July or August wedding, heck, even end of June could be really hot by that point, of doing something frozen, something refreshing but cool, because that's usually like, if it's during a cocktail hour, that's usually the like really hot point still in the day, ceremony and cocktail hour, because it's still daylight out at that point and still hot. So we thought it could be really cool to incorporate some sort of like frozen popsicle that was fruit in it, or have like ice cream sandwiches. So, or you could have both. We thought like if you had any dairy restrictions, or if you're vegan, or if you have any gluten with the cookies, like the fruit popsicles could be a nice touch just for something a little bit more allergy friendly, allergy safe, I should say as well. But that would be something fun to have, like a really sweet frozen treat.
Yeah, and
we have plenty of pictures also on the blog with links.
Yeah, because when we say like fruit popsicles, we mean like fruit in the popsicle. Like you can see like strawberries or watermelon or something in there. They look so beautiful.
Yeah, like the fruit frozen into the popsicle. So it's like this beautiful ice presentation, like of beauty. And we have different companies for some of these too. Like the charcuterie cones, I know specifically Nibbles and Nosh. They're a cute company here in Grand Rapids that are newer. I know they do the charcuterie boards, but also they're the ones that introduced the charcuterie cones. So we're going to like put them in there too.
Yes, the needed. I love it. Okay. So for the next section, we're going to go into more like activities, because this is like, you know, we're moving away from the food and drink because we all love that, but your guests need something else to do. So one idea that we had, because you can have like that giant Jenga, and that I feel like it's a fun game, but it's kind of overdone. And so I think that bowling would be awfully fun as like a yard game that you could possibly have, because there are some that like are just made out of wood, so you don't actually have bowling pins because those can be kind of heavy and cumbersome. But you can have like a nice like wooden one, and like that, I think that'd be really fun for kids and honestly anybody who drinks. So
yeah, I agree with you on that. Another one that we had talked about was the giant yard dice. I just saw it for the first time this weekend, just sitting on the shelf at the store in Outside Games. And I was just like, this is such a fun idea. But Stephanie also found a link to a site with some different fun outside games. And like, it was like giant Yahtzee pretty much. It was like Giantsy. So you could have like little paper, like pad of paper and pens and pencils, and they can take notes. Obviously it's a little challenging with COVID on sanitizing the paper aspect, but you can have like a clean or dirty pen drop spot for those. But you can play Yahtzee in the yard. I mean, you can play with that with up like 4 to 6 people easily, or just with 2 people, which is fun. So you can play the Yahtzee. I don't know any other dice games, but you probably could think of another dice game to play with that. If you wanted to, you could put LRC and a dot like on the side of the numbers if you wanted to get creative, for like left, right, center kind of game too. But yeah, that's just some different ideas with the giant dice. Something super fun and random. I think they have a bucket that you have to like toss them because you can't like roll them in your hand too. Yeah.
Something else that we really liked was we found a thing for I Spy, and the couple included this, you know, what are like the best dancer, couple kissing, you know, somebody playing a yard game, like things like that were very like specific, a photo of you. And then at the end, they included their hashtag for Instagram, and they said, whatever you posted, we want to see it. So that way we can see it later and see like who wins I Spy, or who got the most, or what pictures did you honestly get?
Yeah.
Because best dancer category, I think goes in, there's options for what you think to be the best dancer. And so I think there are people who are going to be like nice and say the couple. I think then there are some who are going to say the crazy person who is, you know, twerking out there, whatever it is. So I really like that option.
I think that's a really fun one. I haven't seen that done before, but I think that would be a really fun way to like, to get your guests interacting in a different way than I think any wedding usually does. You know, like they might be mingling, they might be snapping a photo or something, and it might create a conversation, or they might talk to the person that's standing next to the object that they're photographing. But it ensures that they're not just gonna like be sitting at their table. They're either gonna be dancing or sitting at their table. And right now dancing's very limited on what we can do with COVID. So you know, in that aspect, if you're just wearing your mask, like you should be safe enough to be able to walk around to snap pictures. It's just not like big group massing like dancing can create. So that kind of creates a really fun alternative idea. I know a lot of places couples would think that yard games would be frowned upon on, but it's actually nice because it kind of spaces people out. It spreads them out at an event. And I think that that's nice to have that and not have the crowdingness like our dance floors typically do. So the I Spy is a wonderful game because that will take up different portions of time. It's not like you play a game and you're done. I mean, I guess so in that sense you kind of do, but that might be something that you're searching for throughout the night, like dancing. That's not going to start until after dinner, but you might be able to get something of like a cool drink, like the best bevy or something like that. You know, like, so you can get really creative with it and kind of space it out throughout the whole day. So people are continuously to think on that and to take pictures of that, and having that hashtag a lot of couples have hashtags, but not everybody uses it. So this would make kind of all ages try to use the hashtag so that they can try to show you what they captured. I love that.
Really fun.
Yeah. Sorry, I dove deep on that one. I love it.
No, I love it. I think it's great.
I'm a big fan. Okay. And the last one, I think this is the best for last. Do you agree?
Yes. I've been so excited since I found it. Go ahead.
Okay, so the last one is playing a giant Guess Who with your wedding party, maybe your parents, or maybe somebody else of like obvious importance. Once you look at these pictures, you're just gonna laugh and realize how awesome it is. It's like a giant Guess Who board. I'm talking like big boards that go up or down with like giant poster pictures of people on it, which definitely would take a lot of preparation and pre-planning. But oh my gosh, would that be a hoot and a half? And I can't say I've ever seen that either at a wedding.
And I think it'd be fun too, just to like, because you would have like their name underneath. And so you have people who are playing Guess Who, maybe for people that they have no idea. So they're guessing like what this person looks like, or I've seen new ones where they're like, this person loves to go to the beach and it like loves pumpkin spice lattes. You know, something like that. Who would like pumpkin spice lattes? And you can like, you know, go from there based on like stereotypes. And then you see them potentially later because it's during cocktail hour or something. You see them later and you're like, oh yeah, okay. Hey,
like, I know
like pumpkin spice lattes? I'm just curious.
You're in the fourth row on Guess Who. No.
I just think that would be really fun to see. I love it.
I do too. I could see it jokingly, like one of them being like your, like whoever's marrying you, whether it's a pastor or minister or officiant that's been certified. Heck, you could even have like your coordinator if it's like, this is our wedding coordinator, like this is our photographer with their camera or something. Like you could really get fun with it too, of like the professional servicing you on that day, on top of the wedding party and parents.
Oh, yeah.
Or even grandparents. You could even do some of like the vendor team. I think that's hilarious. Like, what a creative idea.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. And I hope that through all of these ideas that you had a little bit of inspiration. That's what we were kind of going for. We are going to have a lot of photos in this one because you need to be able to see the visuals.
This is like a Pinterest, like these are Pinterest worthy experiences. And so there's gonna be a lot of images and links and inspiration for this one. Comparatively to like us having timelines, which you have samples of, but like these are very image based, just to kind of get the creative juices flowing. And I do agree with you. We really wanted just to get the idea rolling. Like, I know so many people are like, you're thinking about all the things you have to do, but this is where you can get a little creative. And it's like, what can you do that you want to do? Like, get that cotton candy machine, make that I Spy list, you know, like do it, have fun with it. And this kind of alleviates of you trying to be fresh and like your own new creative, where these are creative ideas, but like, yes, it's okay to take another idea and to make it your own too. And we just think that it would make it really fun experience for your guests at the same time, as well as you and your whole bridal party. So kind of bring that little element of surprise that they're not expecting. Can you do one in each category? Totally. Do you have to? No, like this is for you, of what you need or what you want to have.
All right, so that's all we had for today. Next week, we're going to be talking more about gender neutrality stuff, especially specifically for like wedding language. And we have more links that we found for resources. And so we're very excited for our LGBTQ plus couples.
Yes, we cannot wait to talk about all of our gender neutrality. You know, when you're trying to think outside the box and you want to address everyone in their form that they prefer, this is something really important. As a wedding vendor, we're trying to break the boundaries and the standards and acknowledge humans how they want to be. And we think it's really important to find other vendors and other resources for everyone. So this will be really focused around that.
Yeah, and especially as a vendor, just even if you want to change some of your language, and how to start going about doing that. So we'll share lots of resources about how we ourselves have started doing that. Yes.
We are embracing the change that we would like to see others, and we really want to share the information and to educate to all for gender neutrality.
All right. Well, thank you. And we will talk to you all next week.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.